You've done comedy, you've done science fiction, you've done a little of everything.
Sure.
But is there a favorite?
Yeah, horror is my favorite.
Is it the
Absolutely. Horror is that's like if I could just do one thing the rest of my career would be horror, honestly. Action stuff too. I don't get to do much action stuff. Maybe I'm getting too old already. I don't know. What's happening?
No. I did read about your first entrance into Hollywood, literally with Robert De Niro.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's an awkward story.
That's an awkward story.
Yeah,
I don't know if you want to share it with anybody.
Yeah, I'll tell people. That was like when I first moved to New York, and there's the film is called The Good Shepherd, and it was a body double for this other actor. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's supposed to be nude, right? My body type, whatever that means, I had to send him shirtless. I had to send Robert De Niro shirtless things, and he's like, okay, you match it, it's good. So that was a little weird in the first place. And so then they had me down to set, and they told me, "Are you cool with showing your butt on camera?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem, that's fine." And then when we get there, and this is like January, in the middle of January, in the middle of Manhattan, right? So I show up, and they have me take off all my clothes and put me in this warm van while they're setting up the camera. And I'm looking out the window to watch them set up, and I see the guy setting up what I'm going to do, and he's laying, on his back, and I'm like, this is not going to be my butt, is it? So then they call me out to set, and they're like, "Okay, we're ready to do it." And I'm like, well, and they showed me the position to be in, and I'm like, well, I don't know anybody here. I guess I'm just going to go for it. And, the streets are closed off because it's middle Manhattan, and the movie lights are everywhere. So there's just the crowds of strangers and tourists. I'm like, well, I don't know anybody. So unzipped the hoodie and just whoop, off my pants, and I'm butt naked. And I hear the crowds go like, ooh, and I was like, is that a good, are they impressed, or what's happening right now, So then I just lay down, and we do a couple takes, and it was pretty awkward just being naked in front of everybody. And then finally they're like, "Oh, I guess you can't be naked. It's against the law here in New York." So then they kind of gave me this little tiny privacy piece of fabric, and it's like, you might as well, it's like a nylon stocking that says doesn't really cover anything. So then they just had me lay with my leg over. But I tell everybody when they watch, you think that's my leg. It's not.
So I wrote down a list of just partial list of the TV shows you've been on so far. Walking Dead, MacGyver, CSI, NCIS, Modern Family, Bold and the Beautiful, The Mentalist, Rescue Me, As the World Turns, All My Children, One Life to Live. And then a big breakthrough in 2017 when you were in Tom Cruise's movie American Made, right?
Yeah.
How was that for you?
When I auditioned for that, I didn't know it was a Tom Cruise thing, and when I got the part, they called and was like, "Hey, we're gonna fly you down here, but we don't know what part you're gonna play yet." And then when I got to set, they said they would decide. So I walk in, and they're filming, and I see Tom Cruise, and he's filming this other scene. And after they're done, he walks over, introduces himself, and then the director, his name's Doug Lyman, and he hands me a scene. He's like, "Hey, read this." Basically made me audition right there in front of him and Tom Cruise again. And then they walk away, and they talk amongst themselves, and then they come back, and he's like, "Okay, do this again." And so I do it again, and then they just walk away, and I never hear from them again until later that night, and they just say, "Okay, you're going to play this part." So it was a bizarre experience, because that's totally atypical. I've never seen anything or heard something like that. Yeah.
Just one question for all the Walking Dead fans. I read a stat today that you were of all the non-regulars on Walking Dead, you have the highest body count.
Yeah.
That's true?
It's pretty cool, right?
That
was because Walking Dead was my favorite show for so long, and I had auditioned for it, I don't know, for 3 or 4 seasons for different roles, but they're very secretive too, so they don't tell you what you're auditioning for. It's just audition for it. And then when I got the part, same kind of thing. It was this big mystery. I don't know what I'm playing, but I got really excited, thinking I'm going to be on the show for a while, because they don't really come and go too quick there. Unfortunately, that wasn't my case, but yeah, I got to kill 34 people. I'm cheering about that. 34 people in my episode before I get taken out myself.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And now you're home making a film.
Yeah.
I know Asteroid has been all over the city the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks and getting a lot of buzz. It must be great. I mean, to come home and sort of be the returning hero, so to speak, and be in a group of Oneonta filmmakers that you've known for years and years, and everybody's sort of rising up together. It seems like, and having a little bit of success, and hopefully it'll lead to a lot more success here in Oneonta and Otsego County.
Absolutely, that's what I think. That's the goal here. Is, from my understanding, Otsego County is the only county without a film office commission right now.
Yeah, one of the few areas in the state without any film business, any film office.
And it's crazy because I lived in the city in New York. That's where I started. I moved to LA. Now I've been living in Atlanta, and it's like just seeing, especially Atlanta, that community grew and has blown up, and they're like the biggest manufacturer of movies basically at this point.
Yeah, I think everybody from Film COOP is happy to have you home and happy to have you making movies here, and we hope to see you again.
Yeah, I hope we can all do this again. Honestly,
Yeah.
I hope we keep it going.
I hope so, and we'll
Yeah,
all be a little
maybe
higher up on the ladder.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.